Have you ever asked yourself this question? Why is it that some YouTube channels rack up millions, even tens of millions of views every single month, but the channel owners are still struggling to make ends meet? They're stressed about paying bills, worried about their financial future. Meanwhile, there are these completely anonymous channels that you've probably never even heard of, quietly pocketing tens of thousands of dollars every month like clockwork, as predictable as the sunrise. Here's what most people don't understand. The difference between these two groups has absolutely nothing to do with the number of views they get. It's also not about the quality of their content. In fact, sometimes the channels making less money actually have better content. The real difference lies in something that very few people pay attention to, and that's their cash flow strategy. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cash flow strategy? That sounds complicated. That sounds like business school stuff. But trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly how simple and straightforward this really is. And more importantly, you're going to have a clear roadmap to implement it yourself. Today, in episode 2 of this series, I'm not going to waste your time with vague theories or motivational fluff. Instead, I'm going to break down the numbers, the exact strategies, and show you the concrete path from $0 to $10,000 per month with YouTube AI. We're going to peek behind the curtain of these secret million-view empires, both international channels and channels right here making content in English for global audiences to see where they're actually making their money. Welcome to QVID Make Money Online. And over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to give you a crystal clear roadmap to transform those views into sustainable digital assets that can generate passive income for you, even while you're sleeping, even while you're on vacation, even while you're spending time with your family. And here's the beautiful part about what I'm going to show you today. Everything I'm going to share works whether you're starting from scratch with 0 subscribers, or whether you already have a channel that's getting views but not making the money you deserve. So let's dive in. Alright, let's start with the most basic and common strategy that almost everyone knows about, and that's YouTube AdSense. Now, for those of you who are completely new to this, let me explain what AdSense actually is in the simplest terms possible. YouTube AdSense is essentially the money that YouTube pays you every time they display an advertisement on your video. Someone watches your video, an ad plays before it or during it, and you get a cut of that advertising revenue. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let me give you some concrete numbers so you can really visualize this. Let's say your goal is to make $10,000 per month purely from AdSense advertising in a market like Vietnam or other Southeast Asian countries. Take a guess at how many views you would need to achieve that goal. The answer is approximately 20 million views per month. Yes, you heard that correctly. 20 million views. Now, I can see some of you right now thinking, that's an absolutely massive number. That's impossible for someone starting out. And you know what? You're absolutely right to think that. It is a huge number. But here's why that number is so large. It all comes down to a metric called RPM, which stands for Revenue per Mila, or in plain English, the amount of money you earn per 1,000 views. In markets like Vietnam, the Philippines, India, and many other developing countries, the average RPM hovers around just 50 cents. That means for every 1,000 people who watch your video, you're earning about half a dollar. Now, let me show you something that's going to blow your mind. If you create content in English and target markets like the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, or countries like South Korea and Japan, the average RPM can jump to around $3, and in some niches, it can go even higher, sometimes $5, $7, or even $10 per 1,000 views, depending on the topic you're covering. So let's do the math again. To earn that same $10,000 per month targeting English-speaking audiences in Tier 1 countries, you would only need approximately 3.3 million views. That's about 6 times less than what you'd need for the same income in lower-tier markets. Same amount of work, same amount of time invested, but 6 times fewer views required to hit your income goal. And this is exactly why in episode 1, I emphasized so strongly the importance of creating faceless YouTube AI content in English. Because when you're putting in the effort to research topics, create scripts, generate voiceovers, and edit videos, wouldn't it make sense to get the maximum return on that time investment? Think about it this way. If you're going to spend 2 hours creating a video, wouldn't you rather get paid $30 for those 2 hours instead of $5? It's the exact same amount of work. The only difference is your strategic choice of market. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. If you stop at this strategy, if you only rely on AdSense revenue, you're leaving an enormous amount of money on the table. You're essentially throwing away potential income. And that brings us to strategy number 2, which is where things start to get really exciting. And this is where the magic truly begins to happen. This is where you start to see the real potential of YouTube as a business, not just as a platform for getting views. Let me illustrate this with a real-world example that you can actually implement starting today, even if you have 0 subscribers right now. Let's imagine your channel gets 1 million views in a month, and let's say you're targeting a market with an average RPM of 50 cents, like Vietnam or similar countries. If you're relying solely on AdSense revenue, you're looking at about $500 in earnings. Not bad for a side income, right? Some people would be happy with that. But now, let me show you what happens when you add just one additional element to your strategy. Let's say in your video, you're talking about a particular product. It could be a book that helped you learn a skill, it could be an online course, it could be a software tool, it could be a supplement, it could be anything, really. And you place an affiliate link to that product in your video description. Let's use some realistic numbers here. Say the product costs $50 and the affiliate commission rate is 30%, which is pretty standard for digital products. Now, out of your 1 million viewers, you only need 0.1% of them to click through and actually make a purchase. That's just 1 out of every 1,000 people. So we're talking about 1,000 sales. Let's do the math together. 1,000 sales multiplied by a $50 product price equals $50,000 in total sales. At a 30% commission rate, you would earn $15,000 just from affiliate commissions alone. Now add that to your $500 from AdSense. Your total income from that 1 million views just became $15,500. Same video, same content, same viewers, but by adding just one affiliate link, your income jumped from $500 to $15,500. That's a 31 times increase in earnings from the exact same amount of work. Let me paint an even clearer picture for you. Imagine you're working a regular job and your boss comes to you and says, "Hey, I need you to do this task. It's going to take you 2 hours." You do the task and get paid $10. The next day, your boss gives you the exact same task, same 2 hours, but this time you get paid $310. Which day would you prefer? Obviously the second one, right? That's essentially what we're talking about here. The task is the same, creating one video, but the compensation is wildly different depending on whether you include affiliate marketing or not. Now, here's the secret that the truly wealthy YouTubers understand but rarely talk about publicly. They don't view AdSense as their primary income source. To them, AdSense revenue is like finding spare change in your couch cushions. It's nice to have, sure, but it's not what's paying their mortgage or funding their lifestyle. Their real income, the income that allows them to live the life they want, comes from being strategic partners in promoting valuable products and services to their audience. They've figured out that their real asset isn't the views themselves, it's the trust and attention of their audience. And when you have someone's trust and attention, and you recommend a genuinely helpful product to them, that's where the real money is made. But wait, because we're not done yet. There's an even higher level to this that most people never reach, and that's what I want to show you next. Now, if you thought combining AdSense and affiliate marketing was the pinnacle, let me introduce you to what I call the full stack strategy. This is the strategy that separates the people making a few $1,000s a month from the people building actual $1 million YouTube businesses. And if you're serious about building a real YouTube AI empire, this is the level you should be aiming for. In the full stack strategy, in addition to AdSense and affiliate marketing that we just covered, you're adding two more incredibly powerful revenue streams into your business model. The third revenue stream is sponsorship deals, also known as brand partnerships. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Sponsorships? Those are only for big channels with millions of subscribers, right? Wrong. That's actually a common misconception that costs people thousands of dollars in lost income. Here's the reality. Once your channel has consistent viewership, even if you only have 50,000 or 100,000 subscribers, brands will absolutely pay to be featured in your videos. Why? Because they're not just buying your subscriber count, they're buying access to your audience's attention and trust. And the numbers here are substantial. For a channel generating around 1 million views per month, a single sponsorship deal can bring in anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 per video, depending on your niche, your audience demographics, and how well you negotiate. Some channels in high-value niches like finance, technology, or business are getting $10,000 or more per sponsored video. Think about that for a moment. That's potentially $5,000 for one video that you were going to create anyway. You're just adding a 30-second to 1-minute segment talking about a product or service that's actually relevant to your audience. Now, the fourth revenue stream, and this is my personal favorite because it has the highest profit margin, is selling your own digital products. And thanks to AI tools that we have available today, this has become incredibly easy and fast to implement. You can create a high-quality ebook in 30 minutes using ChatGPT or Claude. You can design an entire online course in a few hours using AI to generate the curriculum, create the scripts, and even generate the voiceovers. You can create templates, checklists, workbooks, resource guides, whatever makes sense for your niche, all in a very short amount of time. And here's the beautiful part. When you sell your own digital product, you keep 100% of the profit. There's no platform taking a cut beyond the payment processor fee. If someone buys your $97 course, you get to keep essentially all of that money. But now, let me show you where the real magic happens with the full stack approach. The true power of long-form YouTube content is that you can integrate all four of these revenue streams into a single piece of content. You don't need to create 4 separate videos. One video can have AdSense ads running automatically, can include a sponsorship segment in the middle, can have affiliate links in the description, and can have a call to action directing viewers to your own digital product. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine you create a 15-minute video about the 10 best productivity tools for entrepreneurs. Here's how you stack the revenue. First, AdSense runs automatically on the video. Let's say it generates 500,000 views at $3 per RPM. That's $1,500. Second, you have a 1-minute sponsorship from one of the productivity tools willing to pay $2,000 to be featured. Third, you have affiliate links for all 10 tools in the description. Let's say conservatively, you make $3,000 from affiliate commissions. Fourth, at the end of the video, you pitch your own Ultimate Productivity System course for $97 and you sell 50 copies. That's $4,850. Total revenue from one single video, $11,350. And that video continues to generate income for months or even years after you publish it. This is how you can multiply your income by 10 times, 20 times, even 50 times without working more hours. You're not creating more content. You're just maximizing the value extraction from each piece of content you create. You're working smarter, not harder. And the best part? Once you have this system in place, once you understand how to stack these revenue streams, every video you create becomes exponentially more valuable. You're not just creating content anymore. You're building a portfolio of income-generating assets. Now, I know what you're probably thinking right now. Okay, this all sounds amazing in theory, but is anyone actually doing this? Are there real examples of people succeeding with these strategies? The answer is absolutely yes, and not just a few people. We're talking about dozens, if not hundreds, of successful faceless channels using these exact strategies. Let me walk you through some real-world case studies of anonymous channels that are crushing it, and I'm going to show you the numbers so you can see exactly what's possible. First up, let's talk about the Infographics Show. This is a channel in the history and politics niche with over 15 million subscribers and averaging around 42 million views every single month. Now here's what's fascinating. Nobody knows who owns this channel. There's no face attached to it, no personal brand. Every single video uses simple stick figure animation and professional voiceover narration. According to estimates from Social Blade and various analytics tools, from AdSense revenue alone, this channel is generating somewhere between $200,000 to $500,000 per month. Let that sink in for a moment. $500,000 per month, and nobody even knows who's behind it. They're not famous, they're not building a personal brand, they're just consistently creating valuable content. But here's what most people miss. That AdSense number is probably only a fraction of their total income. They almost certainly have sponsorship deals, affiliate partnerships, and possibly their own products. The total revenue could easily be over $1 million per month. Next, let's look at the health and wellness niche, specifically channels focused on natural health. There are numerous channels in this space that you've probably never heard of. Channels with names like Natural Health Remedies or Wellness Today with 500,000 to 2 million subscribers. These channels use an incredibly simple format. They take stock footage from free sites like Pexels or Pixabay, create basic PowerPoint-style slides with text, and use AI-generated voiceovers. Their target audience is primarily middle-aged viewers who are very interested in health and wellness topics, and they're making anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000 per month, primarily from AdSense and affiliate commissions on health supplements and wellness products. The production cost for these videos? Probably less than $5 per video if they're using AI tools correctly. The profit margin is absolutely insane. Now here's a really interesting case study that I love because it shows how simple this can be. Lofi Girl. You know this channel? For those who don't, it's a channel that primarily live streams 24/7 with a simple animated image of a girl studying at her desk, accompanied by lo-fi music. There's no talking, no complex content, just ambient music and a peaceful animation. This channel generates tens of thousands of dollars every month from AdSense revenue alone, plus additional income from donations during live streams and from the record label they created to release the music. It's one of the most efficient business models I've ever seen. Once the stream is set up, it runs automatically, making money while the owner literally does nothing. But let me give you an example from a different angle, something in the education and knowledge niche. Let's talk about channels like Kurzgesagt or CGP Grey. These are channels creating educational content about science, politics, and philosophy. Kurzgesagt, for example, has over 20 million subscribers. While these channels do show higher production value with custom animations, they're still fundamentally faceless. No one knows the individuals behind them. And their revenue model is a perfect example of full-stack strategy. They have AdSense revenue from their millions of monthly views. They have Patreon subscriptions where supporters pay monthly for exclusive content. They sell merchandise like posters and plushies related to their videos. And they have sponsorships from companies like Brilliant or Skillshare. A channel like Kurzgesagt is probably generating well over $1 million per year, possibly several million. And it's all done without anyone knowing the personal identities of the creators. Now, let me bring this closer to home with channels that newer creators can relate to. Let's talk about faceless channels in niches like true crime, mystery stories, or countdown lists. Channels like Top5S, Mr. Ballin, or Chills have built multi-million-dollar businesses telling stories over stock footage or simple animations. What's their secret? Consistency, understanding their audience, and stacking multiple revenue streams. They're not doing anything revolutionary. They're just executing the fundamentals extremely well. Here's what all of these successful channels have in common, and I want you to pay close attention to this because it's important. Number 1, nobody knows who owns them. There's complete anonymity. Number 2, They focus on evergreen or consistently popular topics that attract viewers year-round. Number 3, they maintain a consistent upload schedule. And number 4, they don't rely on just one income source. These channels have built systems, not jobs. Their income-generating machines are working 24/7, whether they're sleeping, traveling, spending time with family, or working on other projects. That's the power of the faceless YouTube model when done correctly. And here's the thing that should excite you. Every single one of these channels started from zero. They didn't have some special advantage. They weren't already famous. They just understood the strategies, picked a niche, and executed consistently. If they can do it, why can't you? Alright, I know after hearing all of this information, some of you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed. You might be thinking, this is great, but where do I actually start? How do I go from where I am now to achieving results like these channels? Don't worry, I'm going to give you a clear, step-by-step roadmap so you don't get lost or stuck in analysis paralysis. Because here's the truth, information without implementation is just entertainment. And I don't want this to be entertainment for you, I want this to be transformation. Phase 1, and this is absolutely the most critical foundation, you need to master the mindset and strategy in the YouTube AI income blueprint. Now, I'm not talking about memorizing facts or taking notes that you'll never look at again. I'm talking about truly understanding how to think like a professional YouTube business owner. You need to understand how the YouTube algorithm actually works, not the conspiracy theories or myths you read in comments, but the real mechanics. You need to know how YouTube decides which videos to recommend to which viewers. You need to understand the factors that influence click-through rate, watch time, and viewer retention. You need to know how to optimize every single element of your content, from the thumbnail to the title to the first 30 seconds of your video, to maximize reach and engagement. This isn't optional knowledge. This is the foundation that everything else is built on. Without this understanding, you're essentially gambling, hoping that maybe your video will go viral. With this understanding, you're strategically creating content that the algorithm is designed to promote. Phase 2 is selecting your niche, and this is where a lot of people make critical mistakes that cost them months or even years of wasted effort. You cannot just pick a niche randomly or based solely on what you're interested in. You need to pick a niche that meets specific criteria. In the accompanying resources, I've compiled a list of 100 hot niche topics. These aren't random ideas I pulled out of thin air. These are niches that have been verified to have high RPM, meaning they attract viewers from countries that pay well for ads. They have consistent search demand, meaning people are actively looking for this content year-round. And critically, they're suitable for creation using AI tools, meaning you don't need expensive equipment or special skills to produce content in these niches. Your job is to go through this list and identify one niche, just one to start with, that you either feel genuinely interested in or at minimum don't hate. Because here's the reality. You're going to need to create at least 50 to 100 videos in this niche before you really start seeing significant results. If you pick something you absolutely can't stand, you're going to quit before you get there. But equally important, don't pick a niche just because you're passionate about it if it doesn't meet the other criteria. Passion doesn't pay the bills if there's no audience or monetization potential. You need the intersection of personal interest and market viability. Phase 3 is studying case studies, and this is a step that way too many people skip, but it's actually one of the most valuable things you can do. You need to deeply analyze channels that are already succeeding in your chosen niche. And I mean really study them, not just casually watch a few of their videos. Look at their video structure. How do they open their videos? How do they maintain engagement throughout? Where do they place their calls to action? Study their thumbnails. What patterns do you notice? What colors do they use? How do they incorporate text? Analyze their titles. What words appear frequently? How do they create curiosity without clickbait? Pay attention to their posting schedule. How often do they upload? Is there a pattern to their most successful videos? Look at the comments on their videos. What are viewers asking for? What are they enjoying? What complaints do they have? All of this is goldmine data that will inform your own strategy. Here's the golden rule that I want you to tattoo on your brain. Learn, then implement immediately. Don't wait until everything is perfect to start. Don't wait until you've consumed every piece of content about YouTube. Don't wait until you feel completely ready, because you never will. Instead, embrace what I call the ugly start. Create your first video even if it's not great. Upload it even if you're not proud of it, because you will get better with each video you create. Your 10th video will be better than your first. Your 100th video will be better than your 10th. But you can't get to video 100 if you never create video 1. Every single successful YouTube channel you admire, when you go back and watch their first videos, they're usually pretty rough. That's normal. That's part of the journey. The difference between people who succeed and people who fail isn't talent or resources. It's simply that successful people started and kept going despite imperfection. Now here's a specific action item I want you to complete today, right now, before you close this video and move on to something else. In the description below, I've included a link to download the cash flow strategy comparison spreadsheet that we analyzed earlier in this video. I want you to download that spreadsheet, open it up, and customize the numbers based on your own income goals. If you want to make $5,000 per month, plug that in. If your goal is $20,000 per month, use that number. Then use the formulas in the spreadsheet to see exactly how many views you'd need under different strategies and different market RPMs. This exercise is crucial because it transforms abstract concepts into concrete targets. You'll see exactly what you need to achieve, which makes it feel more real and more achievable. And then, based on that analysis, choose one niche from the list of 100 that you're genuinely excited about exploring. Not 5 niches. Not, I'll try this and see, and also maybe this other thing. One niche. Commit to it. Commit to creating at least 50 videos in that niche before you even consider whether it's working or not. That level of commitment is what separates people who succeed from people who dabble and quit. Before we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with some final thoughts that I think are really important to internalize. Faceless YouTube channels aren't just a workaround for people who are camera shy or don't want to show their face. That's a limiting way to think about it. This is a legitimate, sophisticated business model with incredibly attractive characteristics. You have low startup costs, essentially just your time and maybe $20 to $50 per month for tools. You have minimal risk, you're not investing thousands of dollars up front. And you have enormous income potential if you execute the strategies correctly. You don't need to be famous. You don't need expensive camera equipment or a fancy studio. You don't even need to be naturally charismatic or good at public speaking. None of that matters in this model. What matters is your ability to understand your audience, create valuable content for them, and strategically monetize that attention through multiple revenue streams. Think about this for a moment. Right now, while we're having this conversation, there are faceless YouTube channels generating income 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The owners of these channels are sleeping, spending time with their kids, traveling the world, working on other projects, and yet the money keeps flowing in. That's the power of building a system instead of trading time for money. And here's what should really excite you. Every single one of those channel owners was once exactly where you are right now. They were watching a video like this, learning about the possibilities, wondering if they could actually do it. The only difference between them and people who are still just wondering is that they took action. They started. They stayed consistent. And they didn't give up when the first few videos didn't go viral. Now, in our next episode, episode 3, we're going to dive deep into one of the most critical skills in this entire business: how to select a niche with million view potential and how to use AI to write viral scripts in just 5 minutes. We're going to get very tactical, very specific, and I'm going to show you the exact prompts and processes I use. Trust me when I say you absolutely do not want to miss the next episode. It's where everything starts to come together, and you'll have everything you need to actually launch your channel. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss episode 3. And if you're really serious about this journey, if you're committed to making this work, join our student community group. The link is in the description. That's where you can share your progress, ask questions, get feedback, and learn from others who are on the same path. Here's something I want you to remember, and I really mean this. Taking small actions every single day, even imperfect actions, will always beat sitting around dreaming and planning and waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment doesn't exist. But consistent action, even messy action, compounds over time into remarkable results. You don't need to have everything figured out right now. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start and then keep going. Results will come if you stay consistent and keep learning from each video you create. So here's my challenge to you. Before this week is over, I want you to have completed 3 things. First, download and customize that cash flow spreadsheet. Second, choose your niche from the list of 100. And third, write down a commitment to yourself that you'll create at least 1 video per week for the next 12 weeks. That's just 12 videos. If you can do that, you'll be further ahead than 95% of people who watch this video and do nothing. I'll see you in episode 3, where we're going to turn this knowledge into action. Until then, remember, your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. So take that first step. This is QVID Make Money Online, and I'll catch you in the next one.